Our political beginning. It started off with the Magna Carta, which limited the king's power over the people. Then it went to the English Bill of Rights, which also limited the king's power. Then we went to the Albany Plan, which Benjamin Franklin came up with, and it united the 13 colonies against the king. But the king did not like that, so they came up with the Stamp Act and taxing us on our tea and our stamps. So we had the Boston Tea Party. The next thing is the coming of independence. The Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. They made the Declaration of Independence, and Lexington and Concord was fought. The next period, which is the critical period, which I think is the most critical period in the history of the United States. It was from 1777 to 1787, which is whenever the state of Franklin was founded and the city of Knoxville was founded. Shays' Rebellion also took place in this time period. Shays' Rebellion was an uprising against the state of Massachusetts because they couldn't pay back the loans that Massachusetts had forced upon them in the Revolutionary War. So, and the federal government was called in to help, but they couldn't help because they had no power to tax. Under the Articles of Confederation, they had no power to tax, and they couldn't make an army. Our next period in time was the creation of the Constitution, which was in 1787. We saw how weak the Articles of Confederation were when it came to Shays' Rebellion, so the Founding Fathers knew we needed to come up with something different. So they came up with the Virginia Plan, which was a bicameral legislative branch, which consisted of 2 houses of Congress. Then the New Jersey Plan came up with, it was a plan where each state had the same amount of representation. So, but that wouldn't work because some states had more people than others. So we came up with the Great Connecticut Compromise, which had 2 houses. It sought 2 houses, had a Senate which consisted of each state would have 2 senators, and the amount of representation would be on the number of people that were in the state. Then the 3/5 Compromise was also put into place because the southern states would have never came up with would never have ratified the Constitution. The next time period that we have is the ratification of the Constitution, which was from 1787 to 1791. The Federalists, which favored the Constitution, wanted a strong central government, which could make military and tax. The Anti-Federalists they wanted more of a state government, state's power. They didn't like the Constitution because they thought it had too much central power in it. New York was the capital at this time, and the First Amendment was amended.